Hey, Tactical 40K, just a quick update. It's been a little while. Had the flu, completely out of it. But we didn't get Shrike. I got the man, the myth, the legend for Raven Guard. So my HQ slots are complete. This is him. Don't judge me. I've just started painting him. It's got a few layers on him. But this is the man right here. I still haven't got all the pieces on him. I haven't got his belt, if you can tell. But I was just going through kind of painting, doing some stuff before, just try to make it look kind of nice. But I'm going to throw you some stats up here on Shrike. Excuse me. Shrike is one of those characters in 40K who's not like super uber powered or anything, but it does do some cool stuff. And has some cool abilities for the points. Like I've said in the past, when it comes to running Shrike, you could actually run a stronger character if you build one out of a captain and ran him as like your warlord or whatnot. You could do that and give him some really cool abilities. But what I ran into when I tried to build that out and seemingly add that to the army that I'm building is that you're now bumping up to, instead of the Shrike 135, that's how many points it is, you're going up to the 155, pushing 160, right? So I don't necessarily want to do that. I'd rather use those points, those 20 to 30 points, to boost up some other unit, maybe give somebody some melt-a-guns, maybe give somebody Helix Gauntlet or whatever the case may be. But so Shrike for the points, 135, not a bad buy. And like I said, he does some cool things, and he's just a cool character, man. If you look at this guy, he's kind of emo-ish, kind of sweet looking. I mean, who doesn't like that guy? He's cool. The only thing with this dude is I got the box, I didn't get knee pad or decals, which kind of was stupid, but I guess I can get some decals somewhere else. And he looks fine right now. To me, he looks pretty cool. But I'll show you that when I get them all painted. I'll get them up. There's some other things going on. But anyway, let's go over Shrike real quick, because he's completed my HQ slot. I now have my HQs, my Phobos Lieutenant, and now we got Shrike. Shrike, he's obviously the chapter master. Anybody that's within 6 inches of him, reroll hits, right? And then if you couple that, depending on how you run your infiltrators, anyway, I don't want to get into that. We're going over Shrike right now. Anyway, he's got Diving Charge, another kind of cool ability. After he finishes his charge, you can select an enemy unit within engagement range. So he goes in there, he's within engagement range. You're, excuse me. You're charging in, you're within engagement range, go and roll that D6, 4+, they suffer a mortal wound. Not bad. I mean, that's kind of a cool little thing. He's got, they call it the Iron Halo, 4+ invul. Not bad once again. He has some auras and abilities. He's got Rites of Battle. Anybody within 6 inches, reroll attacks. Not bad. Wing Deliverance, that's an aura, another one. Anybody that's a jump pack or Phobos, I think they reroll charges. Now that's interesting. Now this goes to the tactics. If you run him with those Vanguard vets, or with one of those other supporting effort units that's going to go in there and disrupt some of the enemy, you throw them in there, you come out of whatever ambush or whatever, you come out of some kind of strategic reserve or whatnot, and you roll that, you get reroll charges. That could mean something in the battle. So kind of a cool dude. What else? There was something else he had. If you ran him as the warlord, which I'm not, and this is how I'm getting around a little bit, because you run him as a warlord, I believe he's got Shadow Master. But if you run your lieutenant as the warlord, excuse me, you can give him, the Master of Ambush and whatever. You can play around with some of the stratagems. So we're doing that. But anyway, so Shrike, that's him. He's got the blackout. That's the other thing. Okay, we'll go over his stats. I didn't go over his stats. They're up here. But anyway, 14-inch move. So you're talking about jump packs, which are, I think, 12 or 13 inch. I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me pull them up real quick. 12 inches. So my Vanguard vets who will have their 12, you got 12-inch move. This guy's got 14. Not that you want to just, you probably don't want to detach him away, but he's got the capability, I guess, to go an extra couple inches to do what needs to be done. But anyway, so he's got a 14-inch move. He's got a weapon skill of 2, a ballistic skill of 2, toughness 4, strength 4, wounds 6, attack 6, leadership 9, 3+ save with a 4+ invul. It's not too shabby. So for a 135 point character, you go down. What is he equipped with? Well, okay, he's got the blackout pistol, which is this thing with the little raven fletching there. 18-inch range pistol, shoots 2 shots, strength 4, negative 2 AP, damage 2. Which it's not. I mean, there's better weaponry, but still not bad. Like what I plan on doing with the lieutenant now, the X Tiberius or whatever that kind of rifle is, assault rifle. That seems to be a little bit. I wish they would have gave something like that to Shrike. But anyway, it's not a bad AP2 -2 or AP2, whatever. The damage 2 is not too bad. It also ignores lookout, sir. It also inflicts a mortal wound on a 6 when you roll 6 or on a D6 6, whatever. I'm losing my mind. But anyway, so it's not bad. He's got frag and crack grenade just like everybody else. Then what he's known for, he's got his little doohickey claws, his raving talons, which strength user, which that kind of sucks. I mean, you'd like to have maybe like a +1 or something on the strength side, because there's supposed to be some BA raven talons, but then it's got a negative, it's got a AP of 3. It's got damage 2. You can re-roll wound rolls, and so you got that going for you. So it's not too shabby for that. Now, to me, for the Raven Guard, I wish that his talons would be that you can put what do they call them, the Ebon talons on, which I think are a little bit more of a boost than what he has. But it is what it is. It's not a bad setup for 135 points. I see characters in other armies that are a lot more pricey, and they probably deliver a little bit more punch. But for what you can utilize him for, the points, it's not bad. Now, if they ever do an update on the Raven Guard and maybe they throw in a couple more characters, maybe they boost him up a little bit, I don't know. But I'm taking him with that lieutenant. That's my HQ. So what's next? Well, we got a table that we're hopefully we'll be getting here soon. We got our elite slots we're going to start filling, and then we got one more troop. And then we're going to, as we do that, we might evolve the list a little bit here and there, but we're going to start building. So it's coming along. I think I did the math. I think we got about 650 points painted, or no, I'll call Shrike painted, because I really, he's tournament ready. I just got to slap him on a base. And really, the other guys, I haven't based them at all yet, but they're tournament ready if I so choose. So really got 650 points painted, ready to go. If I threw the impulsor in, which I'm not, we'd have a little bit more. But I just don't want to run an impulsor, to be totally honest. Excuse me. I just got it with the kit, and now I haven't even finished painting it. I kind of painted it a little bit, but I don't want to do anything with it. So if I do run any kind of like heavy support that's not troop related, I mean, we're kind of looking at some, maybe some indirect fire, which I don't know what we really have to go into that at the moment. I know there's a couple that I think there's some indirect fire stuff. I'm not really sure, because I haven't really, when I looked at the heavy support stuff for the Space Marines, I kind of just glanced over it and I was like, well, points to points, it doesn't really do as good, especially if you're trying to make a army that moves fast, that engages in interdict enemies and tries to go sabotage objectives and then move, and then, or hold that objective as much as they can, and then if they get hit off, they get hit off. maybe get some support, you know, but you're trying to make a fast moving thing. So I didn't really look at that so much, but it wouldn't be that bad of a thing if you can have some kind of indirect fire weaponry. What we're looking at when the guard has just come out, and I got to run here in a second, so I'm going to keep, I should have ended this, but I guess I'll go into this. I looked at the guard, which I played, I collected a guard army. I haven't really been able to play it, but I actually traded it in for this Space Marine thing, Space Marine starter box. I traded in my guard army. Besides my scions, I got some scions. So I might end up after this getting back into guard, because that new guard thing is actually very interesting. It's right up my alley of, you know, kind of cool fire support and maneuver elements and whatnot. So that looks cool. I might get into that eventually, but I'm also looking at it, you know, since they're the new army on deck, that's a potential enemy or a potential adversary when we get out there, and looking at what they have, it looks pretty devastating. Of course, we don't have the actual codex out yet, but it does make you kind of rethink, or maybe have to retool what you're doing and either become faster, become more elusive, because of how their indirect fire capabilities, or what it's perceived to be for the codex. It looks like they can really mess you up, you know, without even seeing you. And then their tanks can move and really do some damage. Granted, the guard infantry is never, you know, it's been bolstered up, it looks like a little bit, but they've never been really that big a deal. I mean, you can go tear through them, but they are bodies and they do put shots, so you get overwhelming firepower from them against you. And it can be, I would imagine, that many shots, some of them are going to get through. So it's like, what do you do to counteract that kind of enemy? Now, well, I think there'll be a influx of people going back to playing guard. So that I'm just preparing for that inevitability, and maybe having an indirect fire, having indirect fire capabilities could be a tactic to utilize against them as well. That way, you're not tying up your forces into those you know, kind of flak targets, and you can actually go in and hit some tanks or whatever. But I don't know. I'm not gonna evolve. I'm not gonna man. I'm not gonna just worry about that right now. I'm going to utilize this to make my army fast maneuverable with a couple key elements that draw fire. So that's what we're doing so far, and I think that even that will work good against the guard, because what can happen, I think if I came up and I knew I was going to play some guard enemies, I might even go faster and have the capabilities of, you know, displacing off the board and coming back somewhere else, just in order to keep them off guard, to maybe not allow them to utilize those indirect fire weaponry and those big guns as much as they'd like to. But we'll see. We'll see what the codex for them comes out. There are armies, I'm realizing, that are just, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, the Raven Guard are in a bad spot, but if we, with some of the secondaries, if we play fast, if we play to go in there and use some tie-up units and use some, and with some of those, some of those secondaries, you know, sabotage some of these objective points, hold on there with some of our troops, and you know, we might get slaughtered, but if we can build up enough points, we can make it through and be competitive. But anyway, Shrike on deck, taking command. We're getting closer and closer to ready to rock. And last but not least, oh man, there's a new Warhammer store that looks to be opening up near me, which will be cool. I think it's going to be closer. I think they'll actually hold a lot more games, just to, you know, because they're coming out. They're just opening, so I think I'll have the ability to take this army and go fight some guys, or go test it out, go build this list, go tinker with it until we and see what we can actually do against some just average guys, right? But we'll see. Anyway, talk to you later. Peace.